Dear friend, do you see this man? On the right is Ukrainian President Zelensky. His leadership in defending Ukraine has earned him comparisons to Winston Churchill. But the man standing on the left is as valuable as the best general Ukraine has in uniform. He runs the AI software company that's been Ukraine's secret weapon in its war against Russia. You see, while most people are focused on AI chatbots, there's been a quiet revolution happening in how we wage war. Experts are calling it the third revolution in warfare. It's a new global arms race to see which country is going to lead the world over the next century. And that future is being decided right now in Ukraine, in real time. And it's not just being decided by Ukraine's brave soldiers, it's being decided by software, AI software. Weapons that used to be controlled by people have been outfitted with this AI software, and that's turned them into robots that use artificial intelligence to make kill decisions. AI has been Ukraine's secret weapon. They started the war using old Soviet-era weapons. Now they have one of the most technologically advanced armies on Earth. The result has been a revolution in warfare. And this revolution is going to change how all future wars are fought. Now here's what most people don't know quite yet. There's one small company at the center of this entire revolution. Its AI software is on the laptops of every Ukrainian decision maker in uniform. But few people outside of military circles seem to even know about it. Its stock is selling still for under $10 a share. In that way, it reminds me of another niche software maker, Autodesk. Autodesk shares rose 5,600% because they revolutionized how buildings were made. They did it by taking architecture from the drawing board to the computer screen. But for a long time, engineers and architects were the only people that even knew about this and understood its power at first. I believe the AI software firm I'm about to tell you about is on the verge of doing just that. In a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how this company's living software is changing warfare. I'm also going to tell you why I think most of Wall Street still hasn't caught on just yet. Most importantly, I'll explain how you can personally profit from it. In fact, if our numbers are correct and this imitates the success of Autodesk, this could be the biggest winner you've ever heard about. Once you know how this software works, you are going to understand why Ukraine, the US Army, our special forces, even our allies are rushing to get in on it. But first, it's important for you to know who I am and why I'm so confident about this unique opportunity. My name is Dylan Jovanet. I started my career on Wall Street in 1991, over 30 years ago. But I didn't start at an establishment firm like Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan. I grew up poor. I went to City College. There was no big firm from Wall Street that was going to hire a guy like me. I was too much of an outsider. Thankfully, I got my big break from another Wall Street outsider, Peter Jaquith. He became famous. He's one of the bankers that became famous for saving New York City from bankruptcy in the 1970s. He started a boutique firm after leaving Lazard Frères & Company. It was an opportunity I wouldn't take for granted. I may not have had all the connections those other rich people did, but nobody was going to work harder than I did. Nobody. I managed accounts, but I fell in love with researching stocks. Studying a stock to me was like reading a short history book about the town the company was in, the people that worked there, the products they made. I mean, I loved it. I couldn't believe people got paid to do this. Within a few years, I earned a reputation for picking stocks right before they were taken over. Stocks like Paramount, which was bought out by Viacom 3 months after I recommended it for 100% gain, or the 70% gains we made when U.S. Reassurance was acquired about 6 months after I recommended it, or the 78% gains we booked when Chase Manhattan Bank was taken over by Chemical Bank, or the 83% profit we made when Michigan National Bank was acquired for $110 a share. Now remember, this is 1991, 1992, 1993. This is way before the internet bull market of the late 90s really hit. But there I am, this 23-year-old kid basically, picking takeover after takeover. By 1996, my clients bankrolled me to start my own brokerage firm. And that's how, at just 24 years old, I became one of the youngest people in American history to launch a registered broker-dealer and market maker. Our office was at 100 Wall Street, right on Wall and Water. Now, because of what I accomplished at such a young age, Wall Street took notice. But it wasn't until I predicted the 2008-2009 financial crisis and crash a year later that the general public took notice. That's when I was invited onto television to share my opinion. And my message was simple.
What I think they're starting to do is move away from inflationary concerns to concerns about the growth of the economy. So I think you're starting to see the messages change and the Fed to take a stronger easing posture to lower rates.
The stock market at 6,500 was like walking into your car dealership and everything is marked on sale 90% off. Or walking into your grocery store. Imagine walking into your grocery store and everything's marked 90% off. Like the 629% returns we booked after buying American Express at $14 a share. Or the 700% profits we booked when we bought Starbucks at $8 a share. Or the 459% profits we found recommending AutoNation between $10 and $11 a share. Or the 235% gains that came from those who bought FactSet Research with us at $63 a share. Or John Harlan, which was taken over 6 months after I recommended it, giving investors a 35% gain. Or shares of K-Swiss, which gave my clients a 65% gain. And you remember Radio Shack? Investors had the opportunity to make 80% profits after the stock jumped from 16 to 29 after we recommended it. Or even the 40% gains we earned when Hilton Hotels was taken over. Now, I don't say all this to brag. Bragging's not what I do. It's not my style. I say it to show you that I've been making money for myself and my clients for close to 30 years. I know what I'm doing. And yet, as great as all the gains I just discussed with you were, I believe the opportunity with this AI software firm is fundamentally different. The Washington Post said it best. After seeing their AI software in action in Ukraine, they called it a revolution in warfare. And revolutions in warfare are rare. I mean, there have been 3. The invention of iron, the invention of gunpowder, and the invention of the atom bomb or nuclear weapons. Only 3 before this. That's why you have an opportunity to earn a 5,600% return on this investment. Which brings us to today. How does the ex-CEO of a Wall Street firm get involved in the most advanced weapon of war since the atom bomb? Because history is my first love. I've dedicated my life to it. I've spent decades studying the collapse of the Roman Empire alone. I wanted to know how it happened. Did the people know it was coming? What were the signs? Could they have done anything different to stop it? And most importantly, could the same thing happen to the United States? Right around that time, I read an ancient book called The Peloponnesian War. It was written by an Athenian general named Thucydides in 431 BC. Though the book was 2,500 years old, it had so many answers that I was looking for. But one in particular that really struck me. He has a theory called the Thucydides trap. That's what it's called now. His theory is that a rising power will always challenge the established one. He believed it was the nature of things, like when a younger lion takes on the dominant male to try to take over the pride. Now, I've spent the past 25 years really studying that theory. No matter how many times I've tested it, no matter where I looked around the world through thousands of years of history, it's always proven to be right. The Mongols and Genghis Khan were a rising power when they conquered the established power of China in 1205. England was a rising power when they challenged Spain in 1585. France was a rising power when they challenged and lost to England in 1800 with Napoleon. And Germany was a rising power when they challenged and lost to Great Britain in 1914, and then of course with Hitler in 1939. No matter how far back I looked or where on earth I looked, that theory has proven right time and time again. After 2,500 years, it's not just a theory, it is a fact. To that end, I believe it's inevitable that a rising China, aided by Russia, is going to challenge the United States. It's already started, period. Because of that, because of my desire to really protect the United States, I have made it my business to study warfare. I made it my business to study how established powers beat back those challenges. And for the past 10 years, I've made it my business to study which weapons and technologies will give us the edge in this coming conflict. Like the AI software company I'm bringing to you right now, it is a true difference maker. And I've been sharing this research that I've been doing by my lonesome with folks because it seems like no one else is really talking about this. And being ahead of the crowd is really what it's all about. It's why our customers send us testimonials that have said things like, we're the most accurate advisor they've ever used, or we're far above other services in integrity, or that we've turned them into believers from non-believers in what we're doing in this mission of ours. In a moment, I'm going to show you how you could join them. But first, let me explain why this opportunity is so unique and why Wall Street's smartest investors have just started to bet big on this. It's because this opportunity reminds all of us of one of the biggest successes in software history. Again, it's Autodesk. If you were to invest in Autodesk $1,000 in '94, that would be worth $56,000 today. It's over a 5,600% return on your investment. But I think this opportunity could do more for you without having to invest in options or take crazy unnecessary risks. And nobody thinks it's going to take 30 years to happen in this case. Because of the urgency of a rising China and a resurgent Russia, the Pentagon has made AI a top priority. And they're testing it in the fields of Ukraine as you are watching this video. I mean, that's unfortunately the biggest laboratory on Earth. As Business Insider recently reported, AI has become this generation's Manhattan Project. And because of that, we think one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to soar 5,600% like Autodesk, or it just gets taken over by a larger company. Now, I know that's a big claim, and it should give you pause. But if you were told just 15 years ago that you'd be carrying a device in your pocket, your phone, that would have all the world's information in it, you'd think I was crazy and that was science fiction. But it happened. And this is happening too, right now, in real time. That's why Wall Street giants Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and BlackRock just reported that they owned over $1 billion in stock. And billionaire hedge fund manager Jim Simmons just bought 43 million shares of this company in the past few months. They all agree with CNBC, who said, the revolution has just begun. Now, before I tell you more about the specific company and what they do that makes them so special, and before I tell you how to position yourself in it before mainstream America catches on, I need to let you in on a big secret. It's the secret I've picked up in 30 years of doing this business, a secret responsible for some of the biggest gains in history. Remember earlier when I told you about my love for history? Well, it turns out history doesn't just repeat itself in matters of war and peace. It also repeats itself with technology. Every new technology follows what's called a technology adoption curve. And that curve has 3 phases. The first phase is innovation. This is when a brand new technology first comes to market. It's kind of the make or break it phase. Remember VHS first Betamax? Well, Betamax never made it out of this phase because they never gained mass appeal. They never gained mass adoption. They lost. VHS was the winner. Phase 2 is the acceptance phase or the adoption phase. This is where investors like us make a killing. Like, remember when VHS went mainstream? I mean, everyone had a VCR in their home. I mean, I remember, again, I was a poor kid in the neighborhood. We were all poor. I grew up in a poor neighborhood. But I remember the very first time I went to someone's house and they had a VCR and we watched Superman with Christopher Reeve on VCR. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was astounded that we could watch a movie like that from the home. It was just mind-boggling. But pretty soon after that, there were Blockbuster video stores in every neighborhood. Now, as it relates to this, the key is to find a company with a breakthrough technology right on the verge of entering this phase. That's how generational wealth is made. And that's what makes this AI software firm that I'm bringing you today so compelling? It is solidly in the acceptance phase right now. The US Army signed up to buy their AI software on October 6, 2022. Homeland Security signed up to buy their AI software on September 26, 2022. US Space Command signed up to buy their AI software on June 2nd, 2022. Like the iPhone, an entire generation of soldiers and commanders are looking at this company's screens every day. It's what they're being trained on. It's what they'll be used to. That puts it squarely in the adoption phase. And by the way, when you get used to something like that, looking at the same screen every day, it's not easy to switch. I mean, it's not easy to get rid of your iPhone and get an Android, or to go from one brand of cigarettes to another. It's very, very difficult. So everyone in the military is getting used to this company's software. So it is right now in the adoption phase. Now, the final phase is saturation. I mean, by this point, practically everyone uses the technology and the biggest profits have already been made. But again, we're right in the adoption phase. Using these three phases has led to some of the biggest profits in defense history. I mean, Spirit Aerosystems soared 1,200% because of these three phases. Aerojet Rocketdyne soared 2,900% because of these. Splunk jumped 1,000% because of these three rules. Nearly all of the world's biggest gains have been made this exact way. Of course, the secret, the key, is to know when a technology is going from phase 1 to phase 2. And obviously, by the fact that everybody's adopting this right now in the past 12 months is big proof of that. But let me even go further and explain why their technology is so valuable. And I'm going to use the recent war games with China as an example. Now, success in war is all about speed. To that point, in 2017, the US military began running highly classified war games that simulated a Chinese attack on Taiwan. The Pentagon wanted to know if we could actually stop that from happening. Dozens of simulations were run, but no matter how many times we ran these war games, the result was always the same. We lost, and we lost big and fast. The core problem was one of speed. Every time we moved our ships in a position to defend Taiwan, China would send thousands and thousands and thousands of drones and missiles. Now think about that. We move a Navy ship in there, and then all of a sudden that Navy ship sees 10,000 drones coming at it. Now a gunner's mate on a Navy ship could shoot down 1 or 2 drones if they see them coming. But one human being can't shoot down 1,000 or 10,000 drones at once. It's too much to ask of any one person, even for the best trained sailors on Earth. So the Pentagon knew it needed a faster way to identify, target, and kill incoming drones, missiles, and other threats. That means it needed a faster kill chain. That's a perfect example. That's really what this company does. What Ukraine has done is taken this software and put it onto its guns, a software that was designed with China and Taiwan in mind. And they put it onto guns and missiles there. That's allowed them to do 3 things better against Russia: identify, target, and kill the enemy. So identify, it automates the process of identifying Russian drones, tanks, and missiles by running them against its massive AI image database. Then it targets them. It automates the process of targeting the enemy. And finally, it automates the process of killing them. It is the fastest kill chain in human history. Remember something, for thousands of years, humans had to decide when to identify, target, and kill the enemy. This is an AI software doing it automatically and doing it faster than any human being in history. That's what makes this firm's AI software so powerful in Ukraine. It's able to identify, target, and attack Russian drones, tanks, and troops faster than ever before in history of warfare. As the Washington Post reported recently, this AI software has made Ukraine nearly unbeatable. And as PBS reported, it's a revolution in military technology as profound as the introduction of the machine gun. Now, if the United States military were the only buyer of this AI software, the opportunity would be huge. I mean, Autodesk investors turned every $1,000 investment into $56,000 when architects started using their software to design buildings. But the potential for this particular opportunity is bigger, much, much bigger. It's not about selling this AI software just to the US military. It's about selling it to all of our NATO allies, all of our Western allies, even people that are not in NATO. Think about it. For NATO alone to function properly, it needs a unified command and control. That means every officer and soldier under NATO command needs to be processing the same information and looking at the same screens. That's why England's military bought their AI software on December 21st, 2022. Australia bought their AI software on November 8th, 2022. Japan bought their AI software on January 4th, 2021. See, this is that adoption or acceptance phase that I'm talking about. It is starting to be adopted en masse by militaries all around the world from our allies, by the US military and allies around the world. And it's not just militaries that are benefiting from this revolutionary AI company. The CDC signed up to use their software on December 7th, 2022. The FDA signed up to use their software to modernize the food supply chain on October 25th, 2022. Lockheed Martin signed up to use their AI software for their Aegis ships on November 30th, 2022. Hyundai, South Korea, signed up to use their AI software to help with shipbuilding also in September 30th, 2022. My point is that this AI firm literally has started a revolution, and this is just the beginning of it. It's just the beginning of what looks like, literally like to be a very, very profitable ride for early investors. Because of that, we have to move fast just to catch up. Remember, as the market for this firm's AI software grows, it's going to grow faster than any new military technology in history. This is the first weapon system in history that'll be adopted in a similar speed to a new cell phone or software. That means it has incredible upside. I mean, consider the rewards for investing in a company at the head of a massive megatrend. Folks who invested in Walmart, just $1,000 turned it into $3.4 million. Those who invested $1,000 in a Microsoft are sitting on over $1.7 million. And investors who bet alongside Jeff Bezos at Amazon turned every $1,000 into $2.4 million. That's what I believe is the real reward facing early investors with this company, which is why governments are pouring billions into this radical new weapon, and there's no other real way to describe it. It is a weapon. And it comes down to this. A person only gets one opportunity in life to be able to predict the future with such a high degree of certainty. I mean, think about it. We know the United States and its allies are spending billions of dollars adding this software to their arsenal. We know that's happening. And they have to. They have to do it. We need to speed up the kill chain. We need to be able to move faster. It's just a fact of life. We know the United States needs this software. Now, secondly, we know which software they're buying. They're buying software from this very company that we are talking about today. It's just a matter of time before word gets out and Main Street actually catches on to what you and I are learning or know today. By that time, it's going to be too late. It's going to be like crypto. One day you never heard of it, the next day everyone else is an expert on it and everyone's talking about it. In other words, you want to know about this before everybody else does. If your neighbor is telling you about it first, you're going to be settling for table scraps. It's just too late. Now, the time to take action is today. At the center of this is this small company, the one company I'm telling you about winning all these contracts that is poised to hand investors 5,600% gains. During the almost 30 years I've been doing this, actually more than 30 years now, we just changed years, we're in 2023. During the 30 years plus I've been doing this, I've earned a reputation for being ahead of the crowd. A few recent triple-digit winners include ChemoCentryx, which jumped 336%, Crystal Biotech, which jumped 275%, Scotts Miracle-Gro, which rose 174%, DraftKings, which jumped 115%, and Magnolia Gas, which jumped 159%. But here's the thing, those gains were great. They're gonna pay for a nice vacation for you and the grandkids, maybe a new roof on the house. But those types of gains don't compare to what's in front of us right now as Western militaries begin to transform how they're gonna fight all future wars. And while there's gonna be a number of ways to profit in the coming years, there's not gonna be an opportunity like this one before you today. You see, the dawn of a new age is upon us. This is actually the very beginning. AI is gonna change how warfare is fought. It's gonna revolutionize the process. And a remarkable yet small company, this small company is at the forefront of it. This company is literally at the center of this revolution. The good news is right now, only a handful of the savviest investors know about it, but that's starting to change. If you were to make only one investment in the next decade, this one is it. I bought it for my kids. So it doesn't get clearer than this. Let's take another look at Autodesk. What made Autodesk such a huge success was one software, it's AutoCAD software. Now, you remember back when architects used to sit and spec out new buildings on a drawing board? Well, they invented software to do that on a computer, and they changed design forever. That's why early investors were able to see a small $1,000 investment turn into 56 grand. I'm confident the same is gonna happen with this company making this AI software, just on a bigger scale. Frankly, I think the Pentagon is handing you this win on a silver platter. And I don't think it's gonna take 30 years. I mean, this is a race, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Whether we continue to lead the world or whether we take orders from China and Russia is what's at stake. That's why billions of dollars are going to be spent by the US and its allies to bring this kill chain software into every branch of the military. I mean, it's already started. In other words, this is happening with or without you. That's why investing in the small company that won the contract to build them could literally mean life-changing profits. Now listen, we're witnessing the launch into really an amazing, revolutionary new age of warfare, the likes of which the world has only seen a handful of times before. That age, above everything else, isn't being driven by kinetic weapons. It's being driven by advances in AI software. Right in front of us, AI software is literally changing how wars in the future are going to be fought. So to get in on the action, you want to own the company, the one company, the big company the military is using to supply them. The company at the forefront of this revolution. The company that beat out all the larger software companies to win these contracts. I mean, in the last few months, again, they've announced contracts with the Army, the Navy, the Space Force, and the Special Forces. I mean, Autodesk made investors 5,600% returns because it changed one industry. This company has the ability to change multiple industries, starting with the military to pharmaceuticals to manufacturing, etc. As far as opportunities go, we are comparing apples to oranges here. Now, to give you an edge, to really bring you inside to all of this, I put all the details in a special report called Search and Destroy: 3 AI software stocks revolutionizing warfare. This groundbreaking new report tells you everything you need to know about this incredible company, giving you the chance to ride this massive trend for 5,600% returns. You're going to get the name of the company, the stock symbol, our buy price, and what our target sell price is. But I've also added 2 extra unknown AI software stocks to this blockbuster report. The second one, it's my AI software stock pick number 2. I call it AI Air Force, the small AI company powering the US Air Force from behind the scenes. Now imagine this. In the battlefield of the future, success is going to come down to, in very large part, how long we can keep our fighters actually in the air. While our second AI stock pick may not be as glamorous as our first one, its mission is just as important. What it does is it monitors all the systems on fighters, like the F-35 Lightning, to help the Air Force predict high-risk failures in subsystems before they happen. That has already reduced unscheduled maintenance by 40%. Now, I know that sounds boring, right? Oh, great, they're looking at subsystems, electronic systems. But that keeps our fighters in the air longer. And it's things like that that win wars. The third AI specialty stock is, I'm calling it Classified AI. This is a small AI company securing our nation's top secrets. Now, I just told you about the AI stock that actually is going to keep our fighters in the air. I mean, we can have the best fighters in the air and the best kill chain software on the ground, but if our military can't communicate securely with each other, none of that's going to matter. Our enemies are going to know our every move. And right now, in our military, we are diversifying and shrinking our forces and placing them in a lot more locations. Connected communications, basically. Now, we have to make sure that soldiers that are in one part of a country can talk to soldiers in another part of a country very securely. And that the Air Force in that country could talk to the Army in that country, that the Army could talk to the Navy. All those data, those transmissions, they have to happen very securely. Our third stock pick is a small AI software firm that allows those communications to run smoothly and securely. Now, I detail each of these three stocks in our brand new report, Search and Destroy, 3 AI software stocks revolutionizing warfare. And this report is yours absolutely free. I want you to have this report for free because there doesn't seem to be anyone else preparing you for this. You see, the world is entering a new cycle of war. China, with its junior partner Russia, are trying to flip the international system just like Germany did in 1914. The only way we're going to literally keep the peace is by having the world's most advanced military. And that means, for better or worse, billions in new defense spending. And yet no one else seems to be talking about this company and what they're doing and how they're revolutionizing warfare. I mean, it is almost surreal. I literally feel the same way I did before the housing market crashed. I began warning folks on, I remember the date, May 12, 2006, almost 2 years before the market actually did crash. I literally said, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. The market has no place to go but down. My first target was Wachovia Bank. The stock was selling at $55.82. I'll never forget it. Within 2 years, the stock collapsed to $5 a share, a loss of over 90%. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. On June 9, 2006, I warned my customers that the entire stock market was going to drop. At the time, I wrote, again, the market has no place to go but down. A year later, the Dow Jones Industrial Average began to drop 45%. The S&P dropped 47%, and the NASDAQ Composite dropped 54%. My point is, I have a proven history of being ahead of the crowd. That's why I'm telling you this story. Folks, listen to me. There hasn't been this dangerous of a moment since the collapse of the Soviet Union. And to keep the peace, even if you don't believe in defense spending, just to keep the peace, to keep our adversaries from thinking they can get away with making a move against us, we need weapons like this. I mean, defense spending has to go up. That's exactly why I rushed you. And by the way, it's the old Teddy Roosevelt line, walk softly and carry a big stick. That's why I rushed you to get this urgent report, Search and Destroy, 3 AI software stocks revolutionizing warfare. There's one place on earth that you can get this new report that we created. It's called Behind the Markets. I've put this new report together exclusively for members of Behind the Markets. Now, we hunt elephants at Behind the Markets. We don't hunt mice. I mean, put simply, the focus of the service is this. We hunt for small, little-known stocks at the forefront of massive changes, like the one we're talking about today. Stocks that are so far ahead of their competitors, they're changing markets. Stocks with lower share prices, like the one we're talking about today, which is under $10 a share. Smaller market capitalizations and rapidly growing revenue. Stocks that could put 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000% gains in your pocket and change your life. As soon as you become a member of Behind the Markets, you're going to become part of my inner circle. I mean, just like my mother. I mean, you're going to get access to every single investment opportunity I discover every month. I mean, as a member of Behind the Markets, you're going to receive the brand new free report I've been telling you about all day today, Search and Destroy, 3 AI software stocks revolutionizing warfare. And again, this blockbuster 100-page report will outline the 3 stocks that are changing the very way our country fights wars. You'll also You can expect 1 to 2 recommendations, new recommendations from me every month. I mean, each recommendation on its own includes a 30-page report on the company I'm recommending, as well as easy-to-follow instructions for you to execute the actual trade. And since we mostly recommend common stocks, these trades are going to be easy for any beginning investor to do. You could do it on Charles Schwab, E-Trade, wherever. You're also going to get sell alerts for the opportunity to bank maximum profits. I mean, all you need to do is wait to hear from me so you'll know exactly when it's time to sell and take profits. This way, we can avoid writing a stock up, only to write it all the way back down with no gains to show for it. That's why I'm not going to recommend selling a position until I feel the trend is officially over. And of course, you'll have unlimited access to the Behind the Markets members website. That's because all Behind the Markets members get to access a website we really just put a lot of money into, really nice, that you could log into at your own convenience. There you can access all past and present alerts, a bunch of bonus reports, really good bonus reports, updates, some videos, and a few other goodies that we have in there for you for surprise. This way, you're going to have a 360-degree view of every open position, all of our closed positions, all a record of that, so you'll see how we've done, how well we've done. And you're also going to know to the minute how much money Behind the Markets is making for you. And you're going to have VIP concierge service, customer service to help you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And this is one of the things I'm most proud of, actually. We're a big believer in customer service. So, we have a fully staffed team of professionals who are here solely to help you get the most out of this opportunity. They're located right here in South Carolina, so you'll be able to call or email them any day of the week with any questions you may have about your membership. But most importantly, once you join Behind the Markets, you get access to yours truly, me. Like my own family and friends, from now on, you're going to know about the big warnings like this one, the big opportunities like this one, before the rest of the world knows about them. By the time the general public finds out about this, it's going to be too late. We'll be selling our stock that we bought today to them at $2,000 a share. You're also going to know exactly what to buy and what to sell, just like my readers did after the market crashed in 2009. I want to position you for the dangerous world that we suddenly find ourselves in again. Helping you protect your financial security and achieve immense wealth is my mission. In short, you get access to a brain that has made major predictions and has made millions of dollars for myself and for other people during the past 30 years. That's why I kept the cost of Behind the Markets the lowest possible price, just $39. And believe me, it's a steal at that price. The special report, Search and Destroy, 3 AI software stocks revolutionizing warfare, is worth $1,000 by itself. I mean, I've studied this issue for decades, and I've had my research and writing staff putting together this report for weeks. We've been working on this just to rush it to you. This report hand delivers 3 stocks, these 3 stocks I've been telling you about today, best positioned to profit from the coming massive multi-decade increase in AI defense spending. I don't know about you, but I've been around long enough to know how rare that really is. I mean, we basically know what's happening. But look, as I mentioned earlier, this is about feeding more than my wallet. It's about feeding my soul. And the best way for me to do that is to help as many people as I can as a human. And I grew up on welfare and food stamps, so I will never forget the value of $1. So just to make it ultra safe for you, to take all the risk out of the equation for you, and to prove how confident I am, let me remove any last shred of doubt about making this investment. Try Behind the Markets risk-free for 30 days, 100% risk-free. Take the month, review the service, profit from as many of the open positions as you can. If I don't meet or exceed your expectations, just get in touch with customer service and you'll get 100% full refund, no questions asked. Plus, you can keep the free report you get today. So you get the report for free. That's how confident we are. Ride this massive AI defense spending increase with me. Sign up for Behind the Markets and let me share with you what we do best every month just like I do with my own personal friends and family. Thank you so much for watching this important presentation. I sincerely hope you take us up on this offer. I'm confident you're going to look back one day and think that joining us was one of the best financial moves you ever made. So before I go, let me quickly recap what you can expect from Behind the Markets. First, you're going to get the free report, Search and Destroy, 3 AI software stocks revolutionizing warfare. You're going to get this invaluable free bonus report immediately. As soon as you join, it's going to be emailed to you. And remember, even if you cancel, it's yours to keep. That alone has a value of $1,000, $997. Number 2, you're going to get life-changing stocks every month. You're going to get the benefit of the best investment experience money can buy in 12 monthly issues of Behind the Markets, emailed directly to your inbox. Once you get the email, simply call your broker or place your trade online. That has a value of $199. And of course, finally, you get a 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee, no questions asked. Because I want you to profit from my advice without fear, risk, or hesitation. I am backing up our claims with this unconditional guarantee. I mean, just try Behind the Markets risk-free. If you don't like the service in the first 30 days for any reason whatsoever, every dime you pay toward your membership is going to be returned to you. And remember, that report is yours to keep. The total value of all of this is $1,196. And it's all available for the low price today of just $39. The AI revolution in warfare is the biggest tech story you're not being told. While everyone else is focused on how cute and fun AI chatbots are and how they're able to write better letters or make cuter pictures, this mega trend is poised to create as many new millionaires as the internet did for the tech industry. But I'm telling you about this early. It's still early. Nobody else is talking about it. It's because I want my readers to be among a few who have the opportunity to make the kind of money that can change their lives. And it starts with the small software company at the center of all this. It's the one software company at the center of this revolution in military AI. But you need to act fast. This small, basically defense contractor could get taken over any day now. So just click on the button below to get started. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is yours for the taking. I urge you to take advantage of it today. I look forward to having you on board. And remember, the buck stops here.